Welcome to the 116th Westlaw Finals Bowl, brought to you by Lexis. I'm your host, Joe Dooley, and joining me today is five-time Cali winner, two-time top oralist, and moot court champion, Troy Stoop. Now Troy, you've been through the ringer before. What can you tell us about Professor Ochtenberg's final?
You're going to see a very robust fact pattern. A lot of red herrings in there too, Joe. And even though it's open book, you're not going to have time to look in there. You've got to have the answer inside your head.
Now, we have highlighted two test takers today. First, we have Thurston Pierce IV. Second, we have Eddie Ash. What can you tell us about these two test takers?
Thurston, he's a cerebral test taker. Great clock management, Joe. Takes a lot of time on each question and sticks to his C-rack. On the other hand, we've got Eddie. More of an athletic guy. Fills the pages with word after word, just trying to suck up as many points as Ochtenberg will throw out there. Unfortunately, he will be chasing a few of those red herrings mentioned earlier. But hey, don't underestimate the slacker. Every slacker has his day.
Troy, you've been under the bright lights of the Westlaw Finals Bowl. What are some of the test takers feeling today?
Well, in my experience, I always had butterflies, but they went away as soon as I read the first fact pattern. Gunner is obviously going through his pre-final motions. Right now he's got Twombly going through his head, and he's distilling Chamberlain down to one sentence. Gunner has ice water running through his veins. Cool, calm, and collected. Slacker, on the other hand, is probably questioning his decisions to miss 4 classes and to sit in the back 2 rows to surf the net during class.
Well, what are some of the pitfalls you want to typically try to avoid on a day like today?
Number 1, don't go chasing red herrings. Number 2, remember, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And 3, avoid the fatty, sugary snacks. If you're going for a snack, go with the complex carbohydrates. And don't fucking forget to mention Chamberlain, Chamberlain, Chamberlain.
That's good stuff, Troy. Now let's take it down to the field to meet with Holly. Holly?
Excuse me, can I get anything from you before you head in there?
That's what she said.
Dick. Back to you in the booth.
Wow, Holly, a dick he is. Let's go down to Aaron, who's with Eddie Ash right now.
Thanks, Joe. Eddie hasn't quite made it to the stadium yet, although he did text me a picture of his penis. Now back to you in the booth.
Thanks, Aaron. That's some wild stuff going on down there. Troy, what are some of your thoughts on these recent developments?
Wow, Joe, what about that technology? Back when I was in law school, I had to take a picture of my cock with a Polaroid camera and then drop the photo in the mail.
Boy, Troy, don't I know about that. Now let's take it back to the studio. Thanks, guys. Troy, let's take a look down the right side of the classroom. Seems to be a lot of noise coming from that student. Is it possible that's a strategy?
You nailed it, Joe. Classic test-taking strategy to prevent defense. He takes his test, and he prevents the others from concentrating on theirs.
Well, it seems to be working. Check out the guy in the blue shirt. He's obviously distracted.
I think that guy's just hungry, Joe. Hey, Joe, check out this guy's Cali Award-winning strategy. This is one time that a lot of C's are good in law school. Those tabs are clear, concise, and color-coordinated.
Well, look at what we got going on over here. It looks like that student's going for the free cookies up front. Is that a good idea?
Not at all, Joe. Those free snacks are packed with simple sugars, and they're high in fat. He'll be feeling that sugar rush in a second, and then it's going to be all crash. That fat's going to slow him down. It's probably going to affect him on question 3, Joe.
Well, that may be true, Troy, but I think I saw him chug a Mountain Dew when he went and got his cookies, and he has a cup of coffee sitting next to his chair. Shouldn't that counteract some of the sugar crash?
It might perk you up, but you won't get any points when you're on the shitter. And as I can attest, that handicap stall is a real mess in there. Looks like a trucker with dysentery used it earlier.
Well, that's interesting. I don't think I've seen Professor Weddell walking around today. But on to another subject. I think we have breaking news with an injury report. Let's go back down to Holly.
Thanks, Joe. Looks like the handicap stall is about to see some more action. We just saw what appears to be a classic case of the bubble guts. And a good thing he left when he did, because these sounds were getting quite audible and a bit distracting to the test takers. On the other side of the room, tragedy struck as a student experienced what we're told is the blue screen of death. He lost some precious minutes and now will be forced to go to the blue books. No word yet from the Jeffs on why ExamSoft failed. You know, Joe, you really hate to see this happen to a rookie test taker. Let's hope this doesn't affect his performance in the future. Back to you in the booth.
Wow, Holly, that's unfortunate to hear. Maybe if he wasn't such a cheap ass, he would have gone out and bought the Mac.
Well, it doesn't matter what kind of computer you have, Joe. Any hard drive loaded with that much German scheisse porn is going to crash sooner or later.
Boy, Troy, don't I know about that. Now let's take it back to the studio.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here at UMKC where it's halftime at the Finals Bowl. A bit of a rough start. A lot of students looked lost out there, probably regretting those late night Thursdays in the Boom Boom Room. Let's go to Aaron, who is currently live with Slacker, for a quick update.
Well, sir, it doesn't look like it's going very well for you in there.
Yeah, I put my eggs in one basket for the most part. Did a lot of joinder and venue, and none of those really came up in the fact pattern. And so I got flustered, and I had to go look at that outline from my friend my outline. Things just haven't gone so hot.
So what are your adjustments you're going to be making for the second half?
Really get back to the fundamentals, like make sure I've got my IRAC down right, make sure I got my case names, like International Burger King, or Worldwide BMW, or Twomberlack, or Tubuly.
Well, thank you so much. Best of luck to you.
All right, thank you.
This is Erin, back to you in the booth.
Now let's take it down to the field to meet with Holly. Holly?
Thanks, Joe. I'm here with Thurston Pierce IV, who studied undergrad at Cornell University. Let's see how it's going for him. Thurston, how's the exam going so far?
I think so far it's going great. I actually had my outlines done about the third week of the semester, and I've been teaching LSAT prep courses. I know CRAC backwards and forwards, and I know IRAC better than Dick Cheney.
That's great. Did you have a chance to take any practice exams before you began this one?
I did. I actually wrote a couple this weekend that were harder than this one, so far so good.
Fantastic. Well, I'll let you get back in there. Good luck on the rest of the exam.
Thanks so much. Listen, it's only going to take me about another 15 minutes to doodle some more things on the page, so will you be available after that?
Back to you in the studio, guys.
Well, Troy, that's about to do it here for us today at the 116th Westlaw Finals Bowl. As a quick recap, let's go over what we've seen today. We started out by seeing Thurston become a dick, then go to being cocky, and then trying to hit on our own Erin. Can you believe that? Eddie, we don't know what he was doing. He looked lost half the time. Finally, we had an injury. Poor guy got the blue screen of death, lost all his porn.
Yeah, that could really bring a tear to a man's eyes. And I'm not talking third-party joiner. I'm talking about all the loss of all that porn.
Well, Troy, you've been through the ringer before, as we've mentioned. What can you tell us about Ockenberg's final today compared to some others?
I'm a student of the game, Joe, and I have to say this differed markedly from past Ockenberg finals. Tell you what, Joe, two things stand out in my mind. There was that diversity question, which is odd because if there's one thing Ockenberg hates, it's diversity. Number two, no sexual assault in the final. If there's one thing Ockenberg really likes, it's sexual assaults.
Boy, Troy, don't I know about that. Now let's take it back to the studio.